gives us someplace to go when we have to stay where we are. Mason Cooley.
The Day I Forgot to Wash My Hands, written by Anna W. Bardis, illustrated by Andy Elkerson. This is the story of how my hands grew to such a gargantuan size that I could not fit through my own bathroom door. Imagine my shock and surprise. You see, one fine day, a long week ago, in a faraway land of my yard, I did something that, well, I shouldn't have done. And the lesson it taught me was hard. It started with jam, so sticky and tart, on a sandwich of crumbly bread. And what I did next might leave you aghast. I'm not sure just what went through my head. "Wash your hands," my mom called from that kitchen inside, and I thought, maybe after I play. Now, I won't vow I forgot, but maybe I did. I'm a kid, and you know, that's our way. But I'll say this for sure, I wish I had not. Soon you'll see why I say what I say. For after one game, I moved on to the next. It continued that way the whole day. Sticky things stick, or so goes the claim. I found out that day it is true. A truer thing actually never was told. Yes, stick is what sticky things do. At first, it was jam. No great big deal, right? But, or so I thought, as you all know. But stick a jam hand way down in the sand, and you'll see how the problem can grow. After the sand, I monkeyed with leaves, some pine cones, and cut grass confetti. And then I sat in the sun, making masterful art, till I found I was getting quite sweaty. Feeling a thirst, I headed inside. After wrestling open the door, and all of a sudden things got very hairy as I passed behind Grandpa Abnor. Try as I might, I could not shake it loose. And after the effort, it cost me quite dearly. For in the hubbub, I regrettably pet our beloved pet toy poodle Shirley. Oh no. If you can believe, from there it got worse. I twirled onto a cereal box. The toaster, the blender, the silver drawer, a bin of my best building blocks. Oh. I tried to slow down to stop the mad rush of things that were accumulating, but my hands grew a gravity filled all their own, and the madness was accelerating. You'll never ever been inside a tornado booth? Then you know just how thrown I was feeling. As my hands spun around me at satellite speed, the centrifugal force left me reeling. Whoa, he's spinning and spinning. Whoa. Finally, thanks be, they came to a rest. There simply was no room for more. I stood panting and feeling so very distressed, with my hands sprawled out huge on the floor. But in the same breath, I heard Mom head my way, and I thought, I cannot let her see me. So I tugged and I lugged my vast hands down the hall in hopes I could wash them and be free. At last, as you know, it was not meant to be. For though I got near to the door and saw my escape just inches inside, I could drag my hands closer no more. I'd left in my wake a wide trail to the crime, which my mother discovered with ease. The look on her face was not short of the worst, most foreboding, wild brand of displease. She's not happy. It's all the jam's fault, my mad mouth blurted out. But I knew that was truly untrue. I knew it as well as you know my own name. And I'd hazard to guess, so do you. You see, if I'd just gone and washed off my hands, the shenanigans would have stopped there. But so then would the tale of this woeful affair, and I'd not have a story to share. For better or worse, I did what I did. In the end, it was water that saved me. And a whole box of soap, and a mean, hearty scrub, for that's what it took to deglaze me. Now, for the time being, I'm not touching jam. But just so the world understands, if you ever eat spread on crumbly bread, we all know I'll be washing my hands. That end.
There is more treasure in books than in all the pirates' loot on Treasure Island. And that was a quote about books by the amazing Walt Disney.
Mrs. Johnson,
Yes.
I have a riddle for you.
Love riddles.
What can you hold in your left hand, but not in your right hand?
Pencil, no. Knees, no.
Left hand, but not in your right hand.
I don't know.
Your elbow, silly!
Oh, this elbow.
That elbow! I know! And try it!
Uh-huh.
Try it!
Left, but not the
I
right.
can't do right. I can't. See, I go like that.
You're right.
You're right!
Joseph Addison says, reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body.
Safe Crossings by Kari Percival. How do they know it's time? Each spring during the night of the first soaking rain after the thaw, the amphibians know. And guess what? The amphibian migration team knows it's time too. Time to pull reflector vests and raincoats on over our pajamas. Time to find our headlamps and bring our flashlights down to where the spring pipers are singing so loud it makes your spine tingle. Down to the crossing place, a wet road on a night in the spring. We're the crossing crew this rainy night. We get to the town on the detour, but some people still drive this way because they live over here, so we still have to watch out for cars. During breaks in the traffic, we help our tiny friends cross the street. The wood frogs, spring peppers, salamanders spotted, blue spotted, and Jefferson, and other amphibians are crossing the road tonight. A wet road on a wet night in spring. We rinse our hands in cold water first. Then we look for tiny creatures on wet pavement. But how do they know tonight's the night? Asked Tallulah. It's spring equinox that wakes them, I say. But how? Do they taste the warm rain? Do they smell the skunk cabbage blooming? Asked Tallulah. We see salamanders and frogs on the road, pick them up gently and give them a ride on wet leaves to bring them in the direction they want to go. Some are going to the pools. Some are already crossing back up to the woods again. Do they hear the other frogs singing and think, Tonight is the night. It's time to go down to the pool to lay our jelly eggs safely in the water. Let's go. But then how do the other frogs know to start singing?
I don't know. I tell her how they travel down from the woods, out of the holes under the big tree roots, out from under old logs. Up in the woods. Vernal pools. They're going down to the vernal pools beyond the road. And how do they know where to go? Asked Tallulah. Dad, how do the amphibians know to cross the street here? Dad says, I bet this is the path they have always taken from the woods down to the vernal pools and back. Long before people paved this road for cars. Long before cars and roads. They must be going back to where they first hatched out of their eggs, where their mothers laid jelly eggs in the water. I think out loud. Car coming, calls Mom. Everyone scatters to the edges of the road. This road is the way, says Tallulah. Why did people have to build a road here? These creatures are so tiny, their tires are so big, the cars go so fast. And what about times they cross when we aren't here to help them? It's a slow amphibian migration. We count them. How many cross? How many don't make it in time? The spring peepers are singing so loud it makes my spine tingle. Dad, I wish there were a way they could all make it across, I say. Me too, says Tallulah. Dad says he wishes there were a way too. We write the numbers on the clipboard. Dad, can we make a way? I ask. He says, what's your idea? I say, they need their own safe crossing, their own bridge, or their own tunnel. Dad says, I think you are on to something. Dad looks into it. It turns out that wildlife tunnels are already a real thing. There's a lot to do, and we need a lot of help. But we have already done part of the work. Mom says all those frogs and salamanders we counted add up. They could show the town council how important a wildlife tunnel would be. They could show the Department of Transportation why the animals need a safe crossing. Our project is up at the hearing. My belly feels like it's full of jumping frogs. I read what I wrote on index cards. My voice shakes a little, but the council is so quiet, listening.
Guess what? We are getting our wish. They voted yes, and we got the grant. But we have only won half the money we need to build the tunnels. There are no tunnels yet, but spring comes anyway. The amphibian migration team is bigger this year. More people want to help. I show them how to wash their hands in the rainwater first. Everyone is asking, where can we get the other half of the money? Everyone thinks of creative ideas to raise money for the wildlife crossing. The scout troop collects cans. The school chorus sells tickets for a spring sing. The senior center holds a bake sale. The Rotary Club runs a rummage sale. Our art class auctions our paintings. The Conservation Commission asks people to walk, bike, or carpool to work or school for a week and donate the price of a tank of gas. The amphibian migration team sells Make Way for Wildlife buttons and bumper stickers. All that money adds up. And guess what? We raise enough. Late in the summer, we show the construction workers where to slice channels in the pavement. Big machines dig trenches and lower concrete tunnels into place. Workers shovel sandy soil into the bottom. They install grates on top to let in the rain. They add concrete guide walls so the amphibians will know where to go. When they are done, we help sprinkle lots of fall leaves along each tunnel floor and at the bottoms of the guide walls. Good job spreading those leaves, says Dad. In spring, the frogs and salamanders will stay moist. and feel safe when they find their own tunnels. A safe crossing. In autumn, the rains fill the vernal pools again. As the forest floor freezes, the spotted salamanders creep deeper underground. Here's the frost line right there. In winter, fairy shrimp hatch under the pool's ice, while in the uplands, the spring peepers keep just warm enough in the leaves under the snow, and the wood frogs freeze almost solid for a while. When the spring equinox arrives, the snow is still thawing. A heavy spring rain soaks the forest floor. We bring our flashlights out again into the rain, down to where the spring peepers are singing so loud it makes your spine tingle. This time we count the ones crossing the road and all the ones that go through the tunnels and come out the other side to freedom, to new families, to safety at the safe crossing place. A wet road on a wet night in spring. There's a lot of creatures there. There they go, more creatures. Creatures everywhere. I think they've made a safe crossing. There we go. How awesome is that? That they were able to save all of those animals.
Arnold Lobel says, "Books to the ceiling, books to the sky. My pile of books is a mile high. How I love them, how I need them. I'll have a long beard by the time I read them."
Mrs. O'Neill,
Yes.
I have a riddle.
I'm so excited.
I'm filled with stories,
Okay.
but I never speak.
Okay.
I can take you to places
Okay.
without moving your feet.
No feet. No feet. Mrs. Johnson,
Yes.
it's Read Across America here at Portola. It's a book!
Yes!
It's a book!
A book! You got that one too easy. Yay.
It's Mr. Duffy, 3rd grade. Here's our story. It's Spider in the Well, and it's by Jess Hannigan. Spider in the Well. Look at these gold coins. That's going to be important. Part 1, The Newsboy. Once upon a time, there was a newsboy. It was his job to bring the town of Bad Goodsburg their daily news. There's the newsboy. Paper, paper, read all about it. He was also the chimney sweep, the shoe shiner, and the milkman. He was assured by the townspeople that this was a fair arrangement. Look how hard this kid works. My class would call that grinding. One day, the newsboy had some shocking news to deliver. The Bad Goodsburg Herald. Breaking news! Wishing well broken! Town is very mad. Wishes not coming true. Wishing over forever? The townspeople, who were usually very happy, were extremely upset that their wishes weren't going to come true anymore. The baker, the shopkeeper, and the doctor were especially furious. Outrageous! Unbelievable! Positively horrible! Oh no, you poor, poor townspeople. What did you wish for? Were they very important wishes? That's our newsboy. The doctor said he had wished to cure every illness in the whole world. The shopkeeper said that she had wished for happiness for all, so that nobody would ever be sad again. The baker said that he had wished for endless fresh bread to feed everyone forever. The newsboy was overcome with emotion after hearing their generous wishes. The town decided that he should be the one to investigate the well, since he was the one who had brought them the bad news in the first place, and also because they didn't really feel like it. The newsboy was happy to help out the lovely, generous townspeople, and so off he went. Part 2, The Well. The newsboy trudged up a big hill until he finally arrived at the wishing well. Because he forgot to ask for directions before he left, this took a lot longer than he anticipated. On his tallest tippy toes, he leaned over the opening. He looked deep down the dark, damp, and musty well. A spider! Who, me? Why, yes, I'm just a little old spider. I can assure you, this isn't what it looks like. The newsboy thought it was, in fact, exactly what it looked like. Okay, I can explain, said the spider. The spider claimed that he had built his web and the well for regular spider reasons, namely that it was dark and damp and musty. Before he knew it, he had just become accidental. Before he knew it, he had become accidentally rich. But Spider, what about the poor townspeople? They made all sorts of very important wishes, especially the baker and the shopkeeper and the doctor. Important wishes? I didn't hear any important wishes. The baker wished for a full head of hair, the shopkeeper wished for huge muscles, and the doctor wished for lots of money. Unbelievable! Look at him. The newsboy thought long and hard about what he should do. Finally, he yelled, "Justice!" And off he went to the town. Part 3, Justice. Oh, he's back, said the shopkeeper. The newsboy told the townspeople that he had discovered the culprit and asked them to follow him. The townspeople did not seem very pleased when they looked inside the well. "Listen here, you spider," yelled the baker. "We don't have time for your games. Why don't you go and spin your web somewhere else and let us make our very important wishes?" Oh, here they are. "Ah, yes. As you can see, I am but..." Let me start again. "Ah, yes. As you can see, I am but a humble and trustworthy spider. I would never steal gold or overhear any secret wishes or tell those wishes to a nosy little newsboy." The townspeople immediately realized this was in fact exactly what had happened. Call that busted. "You heard our wishes!" Oh boy. Is the townsboy gonna be scared or brave? "Come now, newsboy, you don't need to tell anyone about this, right? Isn't there something that we could do for you, newsboy, in return for keeping our little secret?" pleaded the doctor. The newsboy smiled. I'm not going to read it yet, but just look what he has in his hands. "Now that you mention it, there is something that you three can help me with." The townspeople took off running down the hill. They were assured the newsboy that they were very, very eager to start sweeping chimneys, shining shoes, and delivering the milk. They don't want to get caught. Now, little spider, what about your secret? Said the newsboy. Wouldn't it be such a shame if anyone found out about all of your accidental riches? Look at the look on the newsboy's face. Look at the look on the spider's face. Here comes the coins. The newsboy and the spider came to a fair arrangement, and once again, everyone was happy in Bad Goodsburg. Well, sort of. Look at what the newsboy now has. Looks like the spider still has a little cheddar cheese for himself, too. The Bad Goodsburg Herald. Fantastic news. Wishing well, totally fixed. Keep bringing gold. Newsboy now town hero. He retires early. Definitely not broken. And there's one last part I want to show this to you. And part 2 says, cats, fast and deadly. Now I'll tell you, I've heard there's a spider running around this classroom and I haven't believed it. But boy, I'm nervous if part 2 comes around. All right, you guys enjoyed it. Thanks.
As long as we're talking about quotes, here is one of my favorite books, We're All Wonders. Because you know, if you look with kindness, you will always find wonder.
Mrs. Johnson,
Yes, ma'am.
it's our last riddle.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay.
Ready, Mrs. O'Neill.
It's the only place in the world where today comes before yesterday. What is it? Today comes before yesterday.
I know.
What?
It's a dictionary.
A
blue dictionary.
The more you read, the more things you will know. The more you learn, the more places that you will go. And that is quoted by Dr. Seuss.